This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing, we didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
That's President Donald J. Trump. You are listening to 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 in Fort Worth Dallas. You're also listening to News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. And welcome to the show. This is, how do you even react and talk about this? It's the breadth and the depth is so wide. This is a disgrace. This is a crazy watershed moment. I want us to be under no aspersions. First of all, this was absolute lawfare. This was absolutely rigged. This is a 7-year-old case that expired beyond the statute of limitations. It's a misdemeanor. As far as the alleged felony with the campaign finance violations and such, the FEC, which oversees that, looked at it, investigated, and there was nothing there. In fact, they didn't even fine Trump for this. Do you know that Hillary Clinton was investigated for a similar thing with the Russia collusion hoax and the fake documents she put together from the Steele dossier? Do you know that she was fined for what she did? She actually, the FEC investigated her and fined her. Trump wasn't even fined, let alone he wasn't fined or prosecuted. So there wasn't even a fine. And Alvin Bragg promised that he would, if you elect him, he would do this. And he realized there was no case. He said nope. And then he lost the top prosecutor in his office who left and wrote a book about him attacking him for not doing it. And then he came back and said, oh, wait, Biden talked to me. And the Biden Justice Department talked to me. And, oh, wait, the number 3 person in the Biden Justice Department under the third in line, 2 heartbeats away from being the Attorney General, Matt Colangelo, just quit and said he would come to he said he's going to quit and come to my office and if I hired him and he'll take care of Orange Man. Done. I will look good. He'll look great. He'll be Attorney General in the near future. And me, I'm set for life. I'm a hero. I can write books. A movie will be made about me. I'll be a character. I'll be a consultant in movie projects. I will get my leg humped from every leftist in the world. However, I want to say in this reaction, I want you and I to be very, very careful because I think we don't know how this is going to play out. And I think right now there is a tremendous propensity to say this is going to lead to a watershed moment in that everybody who wanted to elect him is going to elect him, plus people who were not sure are going to elect him, and it's going to be possibly more of a landslide. And I will tell you, I feel like that tonight. So don't get me wrong, I totally feel like that tonight, and I want to shout with joy, but I want to be real sober. I am beyond emotional and angry, but listen, the whole thing's a joke. It's disgusting. And our country is the loser in this. This is the first time any president's been prosecuted for anything like that. This is really sad. And it's only because it's Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm grateful for Donald J. Trump. I am grateful for him because he has exposed all this. He is not perfect. He has so many warts on him. It's hard to see through the warts, but he is my guy. I think what Dennis Quaid said the other day, he finally endorsed him. He said he might be an a-hole, but he's my a-hole. And that's what I say tonight. He might be full of warts, but he's full of warts, and he's my guy that's full of warts. And I endorsed him for the first time, the second time, and now this time I did before this. But this makes I do feel. And that's one of the many things I want to ask you tonight, and the lines are wide open for your reaction. We're going to be here all the way on both KLF and WBAP, simulcasting until 10 p.m. tonight. And then at 10 p.m., I split off on WBAP solo for my regular show on BAP. And I'm happy to tip my hat to my friends at KLIF listening and work there, because that's where I worked for the first 2 years doing afternoons before I came here to WBAP Dallas, which is 5 feet away. But a long walk. I actually think this is, you and I see so much going on in real time right now. We see massive amounts of money flowing into Trump's campaign, but not just from Trump supporters. There are liberal Democrats who are freaking out over this, that are enraged or deeply disturbed. I'm going to mention one of them. Do you remember Bill Ackman? Do you remember the name Bill Ackman? He's a billionaire liberal Democrat Jewish man who is responsible. He's a hedge fund billionaire. And I mean, if you look at how many followers, he has 1.2 million followers, and he only follows 759 people. So he's one of those, okay? And he was responsible for getting the president of Harvard fired over the Jew hatred. Number two, he retweeted Ron DeSantis, and he said, I think any objective person would have to agree with Ron DeSantis here. And it was a Ron DeSantis multi-paragraph indictment of this case, just as Trump would say, as I would say, as you would say. So you are seeing leftist, billionaire, Jewish Democrats all their lives that are now gonna go behind Trump, and they're throwing it publicly, and they're going to, Elon Musk, as you know, is going to be an advisor to Trump if he's reelected. I mean, we see many. I've talked to you about this the other day. We're going to see many people, and we already have in Silicon Valley just in the past month, that have come out and said, I'm not a fan of Trump, but I'm voting for him, and I'm endorsing him, and I donated to him. So I am seeing, what's it called? Coalescing. I am seeing so many people coalesce around Trump that didn't want him before, but now want him. And I think there now is a mandate where we have to elect him. And I don't, the reason why I caveated this with, hey, I don't want us to get too, put the goggles on. I'm telling you, we as a people have a propensity in this camp with us to get excited and think we got this. I'm telling you, we don't got this. But I'm going to tell you right now, the country knows this is a fraud, and they reject this. And even those who won't say it, on the air tonight that I wanted to have on the show tonight, one of the legal people out there in the Metroplex, the firm is going to panic if he says that, but he's like, yeah, it's a BS case. This one guy I talked to who won't join us tonight because it's like, I want somebody that's direct. Mike and Keller, you're the first person of many that'll react. Mike, you're on 570 KLIF in Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP, of course, Dallas as well, and Fort Worth. Both
Greetings.
Greetings.
I say that is a travesty. It reminds me of Meek Mill and Diddy audio. Trump being Meek Mill and the justice system being Diddy. You heard that audio?
Is that the one? I don't know which one it is. There's one where he's violently going after somebody years ago in New York. There's one.
No. There's an audio of Meek Mill and Diddy.
Okay, they're both rappers, obviously.
Well,
I don't know Meek Mill, but I'm sure he's a rapper. It sounds like it.
They gave Trump a colonoscopy without any anesthesia. They screwed him royally, and they know it.
That's right.
Because of the fact that you don't want to play a game. And what it is, you got all these clapping seals out there who's clapping and everything else that's enjoying the charade. I mean, it's just a tirade of
Mike,
injustice.
I love your call, so I want to ask you a question. Did you hear the press? And I think it was with the plump man, D.A. Bragg. in his press conference, I believe it was him, but the press was interviewing, or somebody was asking questions, and they said something, and the press cackled and laughed. All of them. They're literally laughing at Trump tonight. They're euphoric. They're orgasmic tonight. And I honestly feel that they've indicted themselves tonight by all their behaviors, and I honestly feel they're going to have they won today. I love what one of Trump's lawyers said tonight. They won today, but we're going to win in ultimately, and we're going to win in November. And Trump said that too, that we're going to win in November. Something to that effect.
We won the battle, but the war isn't over. And
we lost the battle today. We have to be honest.
Right. Like I said, they won the battle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said we won the battle. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Like I said, it's just a total sad travesty. Well, you got Grandpa Joe, who they determined that he's too old to be prosecuted. Really?
Well, yeah, two absent-minded people. They wouldn't prosecute him because he's too. They wouldn't convict him. He's just. Well, listen, he doesn't know what he's saying. He literally forgets what he says. He's elderly and feeble, and that's what the DA. That's what the U.S. attorney said.
Really? Aren't they special?
Well, yeah. So listen, everything that is true about Biden, they try to project on Trump, and everybody knows that's not true. I think Trump handled it real well today. I was proud of him, and when he said that part where he, I can't remember the exact lingo. It was beautiful, actually. I really was enheartened by it, and I just really, when he said, I think he said they think they're going to do this, but I'm going to win in November or something like that. I played it at the top of the hour. I can't remember the exact words, but it was beautiful. I was so overjoyed by what he said.
You know what's going to be beautiful? When he wins and he decides to do a pardon of all the people that were wrongly convicted.
Yeah, January 6th, yeah.
January 6th.
All right, brother, I got to roll, but thank you. And
thank you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you. All right, I got lots of questions, but we're going to talk to Danny in California coming up next. Let me throw out some questions, and you're going to hear the press in the press conference this afternoon. They're laughing at Trump. They're literally laughing, all of them. And I want we're going to play that next. It's really sickening and shocking to hear, but here's some questions for you to think about, and we have 4 lines open right now. After Danny, it's wide open for you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Do you feel like we're circling the wagon now around Trump? I think I'm using that the way I'm supposed to. I feel like we're all circling the wagon now. Like, he's our protection. We're protecting him now. We're his protectors, and I feel like the most of our country that's reasonable, Democrat or middle of the road or Republican is circling the wagon now. Not going to. They're already starting to. They already are. And do you think there's a lot of people circling the wagon? Are you and are others that you know in your life? And how do you feel about this verdict? Do you think this was a rigged case, as I do? And is this the end of our country? And I say that meaning this is the beginning of the end, because they have destroyed our judicial system with this tonight. And how do you think voters are going to react to this? Because some polls have said today, they were reading on Fox News saying this poll says this poll says that. And one of the things that we're saying is that the polls, it's going to help. Some people are going to be reaffirmed to him, but that's the people like us who are already going to vote for him. What about the people who they say that less people that he needs will vote for him after their conviction? So here we are. Do you think that, or do you think instead they just elected Trump? I have to feel like they really did now by more of a margin than as was earlier today. But I want to hear from you. The key thing is don't put your goggles on. We got this, and we crash hard. Don't say that. Keep the goggles off, the bias goggles. Okay, Danny in California, then your call. We got 3 lines open, 800-288-WBAP. Chris Krok Show on 570 KLF, Dallas-Fort Worth. And 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth, Dallas. News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth, Dallas. And 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. .570 KLF, Dallas, Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth, Dallas. News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. We are simulcasting, I'm proud to say, for the first 2 hours of my show tonight from 8 to 10. Then I'll break off local from 10 to midnight on BAP. But let's take your call. Here's the thing I wanted to play for you. This is the media laughing. I think it's the prosecutors here in this interview. I don't think it's Plump Man, Bragg, but here we go. And they're laughing at Trump. And the media is laughing. I can't believe we're hearing this in this country right now.
Mr. Steinglass, many people said the prosecution was masterful and flawless. Just want to know how you feel at this moment. Sorry. I'll let you vent. How do you feel?
Mr. Steinglass, I think some of you probably saw him speak for a little bit the other day. So he's done his job.
If you're the media, you're supposed to be taking notes and listening. Do you ever hear them laugh like that? Unless there's a joke they crack on purpose. Well, actually, daily with the White House. But this is a man's life. This is our president in jail now. Wow. We're going to talk about what's going to actually happen and what could. Let's go right now to our next call. Let's go to Lisa McKinney. You're on 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas. Let's go you, Lisa McKinney. You're on both stations. Hello.
Hi, Chris. How are you tonight?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm mad, but I think today had to happen this way, and I think it is all part of God's plan. If President Trump had not been convicted, the streets of the United States would be on fire tonight because the Democrats would be so mad.
I don't think so.
I do, because...
You know what? You might be right, because you know what people were saying? We're going to be rioting at our side. We don't do that. And if we do, we condemn that.
Exactly.
I didn't hear anybody that supported the riot at the Capitol. I never did. It should be just a ticket for trespassing for 80% of those people, 90% of them. The rest may be some serious stuff, actually, because of what they were trying to do. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's right. Well, but here's the thing. So they find him, they found him guilty today. So the streets aren't burning. The Democrats are celebrating. We're seeing all of the people that are in on this. It will appeal. It will probably be, the appeal will uphold today. And
no, it will not, but it will not happen until January or later. That's how the court systems work.
So my point was, by then, whether it's upheld or not, I think it will eventually wind up in the Supreme Court, because they're trying to say that it's federal election fraud,
right,
interference.
I got to roll,
does or not,
Lisa. But I want to tell you this. The Supreme Court could hear an emergency hearing, and they're going to most likely try for that. But as of right now, it won't go to the Supreme Court probably until after the whole appeals process, which is going to be in the next year. 10 seconds, go.
So my whole point was, by then Trump will be president, and he won't stand for the idiots that are burning the streets down.
Or the plan of these people that rigged this, all the Democrats and Joe Biden, or their plan will work and will get them just enough votes lost to keep them off the ballot, to kick them out, to lose. And they've won by stealing everything once again. Yeah,
well, that's true. But
appreciate
like I said,
you.
I'm mad, but I'm hopeful.
Good for you. That's what I want to hear. That's sweet, Lisa. Good. That's good. Two lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227.
Thank you for joining us here today. Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts.
This case is an abomination. It's obviously political. 7 years to try to come up with this case. They're just wrong on the law.
The only crime that Donald Trump is being prosecuted for is the crime of running for president.
Political persecution at the highest level.
They've quite frankly given up on trying to beat him at the polls. Either going to steal it or stop it by law firm.
A Democrat prosecutor elected on a Get Trump platform.
What's going on here is a disgusting disgrace. It is war on Trump. It is war on the Republican Party. And it is a war on the Republic.
This case is the weakest case I've seen in 60 years of teaching, practicing, and writing about criminal law.
And I doubt the New York indictment would have been brought against a defendant whose name was not Donald Trump.
This judge, I mean, you don't need a prosecutor if you have a judge like this. This judge is not on the level.
It's a terrible case, but the judge has been pretty much a rubber stamp on everything that Bragg has wanted to do.
They're perverting the system of justice. That's where the danger lies. The corruption and subversion of our institutions by the left.
This is the Democrats' entire strategy, to confine President Trump to a dirty criminal courtroom and keep him off the campaign trail where he can bring his winning message to voters across this country.
New York has become a legal banana republic. They are so determined to get Donald Trump.
Look, convicting Donald Trump, that's all they have.
I think they have no cards, and they're depending upon Trump getting convicted.
That Trump train doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
The only verdict that matters is the verdict at the ballot box.
Wow, that's powerful. That's a Trump post on his True Social account. It's on my Twitter feed. Don't miss any of this stuff. Everything you're hearing tonight is on my Twitter feed, at Chris Krok Show. That's at Chris Krok Show. You're listening to coverage from 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. We are together for till 10, then we break off for WBAP Solo with me. One line is open. I want your reaction to this. Let me throw out some questions for you at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. An unbelievable time. By the way, I want to caveat this. Trump was amazing. He was amazing in his reaction. He was amazing in how he looked. He was not looking defeated. He was not looking angry. He was looking focused and resolved to win. And he's going to win. I feel it more than ever tonight. I really do. And it's not because I'm angry. I am saddened. I'm in disbelief. I can't believe what I'm seeing happen to our country. I really can't. And that's where I think many of us are at. I can't wait to share with you the liberal Democrat and Silicon Valley people that are flipping and going to Trump tonight and are donating. One guy did $300,000 tonight alone. He's like, and what he said yes, it's not no, it is not a coincidence. Yes, the timing is everything to it. He just gave that tonight. One of the top guys from Sequoia Capital. Okay, let's go right now to your call. One line open at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Why do you think Biden bailed on Trump's verdict? He was going to talk about it today. He bailed on it. Why do you think he bailed on talking about it? Why do you think the Supreme Court, do you think the Supreme Court might overturn this one shortly, as Trump very well could do an emergency, ask for an emergency overturning of it, hearing of it to overturn it? Have you lost faith in our legal system and in our country? I wouldn't doubt you if you did. And if you have, and do you think Trump will end up winning on November 5th because of this? I feel like that today. I really do. But he can ruin it. It's all how it plays out. There's humiliating things. He has to report to a probationary officer. Did you know that? Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that filthy? It's disgusting. It's worse than a dog owner taking their dog's nose when they crap on the carpet and rubbing their nose in it. It's worse than that, treating our president that way. It really is. It's unbelievable. Are Republicans going to go take this out on them, though, and prosecute all of them? Are you going to see 20 cases in the next 5 months against Democrats? God help this nation. This could be the beginning of the end. I hope it's not. All right, right to your call now, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in, one line open. Let's go to Danny in California. You're on 820 AM WBAP, and, let me see, 570 KLF Dallas, Fort Worth, 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth, Dallas, News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. Hello, Danny.
What's going on, Chris?
What's up, brother? How it's you? I love your calls.
Hey,
go ahead. Yeah.
Good, man. Hey, you know what? This is a travesty right now.
Yes.
I don't know where this country's going. I'm really concerned about what's going on with our legal system. I came from a country where these things happen pretty much on a daily basis.
Cuba or Venezuela?
No, I'm actually from El Salvador.
El Salvador. Okay.
This is what used to happen back then. I'm not too sure. I think things have changed, Bukele and so on and so forth. But who knows? I don't know. I haven't been there for 45 years. But
right.
The thing is that what I'm afraid of is that whatever the Democrats are doing right now, that Republicans can come back and do the same thing.
Correct.
To them.
Do you want them to?
No.
Me neither.
This is why this is where I didn't want this thing to go.
Correct.
And unfortunately, the thing about the Democrats, they only think of the moment. They're very emotional people. They're not thinking of consequences in the long term.
Let's put something out right now, Danny. I'm one of our most read counties here in the Metroplex with millions of people in it is Collin County. Do you think that the DA there could put together a case and get a jury to convict him in a ruby red county? Although Collin's not as ruby red, let's say Waxahachie, I should say Ellis County, south of the Metroplex, where it's 90% Republican, 70% Republican, probably, or 80% Republican. You know what I mean? There's counties like that. We can do that.
Very, very easily, and like I said, I'm really concerned, man. I mean, look, whatever happened with whatever's going to happen with Trump, I mean, he might win this election, but the damage is already done.
Yeah.
It's done. There is no way turning back on this.
How do you want us to handle this legally? How do you want us to handle this legally with response, not Trump's case, but with what you're talking about, lawfare? How do you want us to handle that as a conservative or Republican or whatever?
It's a conservative. I would hope that we follow the law as it is. I mean, the way it should be.
It's not fair though, because they cheat and they've won on this cheating, and we don't do that.
And I understand that, but I can see our side doing exactly the same thing.
Half of our side probably wants to do that, but we can't. You're right.
And I just didn't want to go that route, and unfortunately, it's going to have to go that way. There is no way around it, and I'm like I said, I'm really concerned, man, because. Look, I run away from a country where, like I say, it happens all the time. Now I'm here, and this is what's going on over here. This is crazy.
Danny, God bless you, my friend. Man. All right, keep calling, all right? Thank you, brother. Let's go to Scott and Rowlett. You're on 820 AM WBAP. I should say News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM, Holtum City, Dallas, Fort Worth, and, of course, 570 KLF, Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having let me on. I've listened to you almost every night for years.
Thank you.
And it's the second time I've called in.
Thank you.
I want to reinforce the point that Lisa was headed to and that you've also brought up. I think Trump can go straight to the Supreme Court based on the precedent in 2000 in Bush versus Gore, where it was under the Equal Protection Act on the 14th Amendment, and they said you're disenfranchising voters.
Even if you and I are wrong on which way they would go with it, I heard some great legal minds today on Fox in reaction to this, and they said the next step for him, or he very well may go to the Supreme Court. I can't remember the exact terminology, and basically to get an emergency hearing to see if they can throw this out for the unconstitutionality of several elements of this case. And that's a possibility, and then it'll be in their hands, and I know they're going to be like, oh, but they're going to do what's right in this case. I know the Democrats won't, but I think the conservative majority will.
I think you might see an 8-1.
You know, sometimes they've been surprising us, our side and their side, in a good way. Not always on either way, but there's been a couple. They just did a unanimous one against the New York gun law that just came in today or yesterday. Like yesterday, I think it was unanimous, or 9 to nothing, or 8-1. Yeah, I think it was 9-0.
And as a secondary, right now they're looking at the presidential immunity.
Yeah.
They could come out with some kind of super strong ruling on that.
I don't think they're going to get that, but they might, but I doubt it. I that's just my little non-legal opinion, but I do think that when I heard what they were saying, I can't remember which attorneys it was, whether it was one of the several attorneys that are on all day, Andy McCarthy, Trey Gowdy, or
Turley, maybe.
Yeah, Turley and the other ones. But an emergency, or Judge Janine, and emergency hearing at the Supreme Court on the basis of unconstitutional thing, his rights being violated on this, and this, and this. And I think that's got a good chance if they do that. But they haven't said they're going to do it yet. I'll share some of the strategies they've laid out that they're going to be doing right now on an immediate pursuit. But I think this is going to coalesce a lot of people around him tonight and in the next couple days. And the donations are pouring in. The website crashed. Did you hear that earlier? The website crashed.
Yes.
All right.
That's all you got to see.
Yeah.
The people are behind him.
All right, Scott, bless you, brother. Thank you. We got two lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, we're going to talk to, we're going to hear a few things. You're going to... Man, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I'm going to tell you some of the people that are not who you expect would come out and support Trump, and they're coming out and they're throwing money on the table. They're coming out and endorsing him, Trump, publicly, and they're condemning this. Also, speaking of Jonathan Turley, we're going to play one of the cuts from him after the reaction to this verdict of guilty this afternoon, this travesty of justice. That's next to the Chris Krok Show on 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas, and 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth.
I was saddened to watch it. I disagree with this verdict. I think, as I've said before, that this case was legally unfounded. When they were reading those guilty verdicts, the one thing that we didn't know is really what he was found guilty of. Because if you remember, the judge allowed the jury to find guilt on any one of 3 secondary crimes. We weren't told whether the jury found any one of those crimes, whether they found all 3 of those crimes. I'm not too sure we will know that. That's one of the many issues that I think presents reversible problems in this case. So what I would say is that this is a historic moment. We all have to take a breath. But for those upset by this verdict, remember this remains a country committed to the rule of law. And this is going to go up on appeal. I think it's going to be reversed in the state or federal systems.
All right, there we are. 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. Simulcast together. It's Chris Krok Show. And that was Jonathan Turley, constitutional law professor and Fox News legal analyst, expert, etc. A brilliant legal mind. And that's what he thinks. Robert De Niro says justice was served. That poor, broken, miserable man. I forget how Trump coined it, but it was perfect. He says, I think justice was served. This never should have gotten to this stage. What? I don't want to be talking about it, but I am so upset by it. I have to say something. This is my country. This guy wants to destroy it, period. He's crazy. Well, sir, I hope you enjoy your time in the sun, because he's going to get elected, I think, now. But let's see. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. 2 lines are open. Chime in right now. By the way, Trump's Truth Social stock dropped by 9%. They're going to destroy this man if they can, and they will dance with glee. Tucker Carlson said that Trump will win the election if he's not killed first. As this marks the end of justice, this guilty verdict. Import a third world, become a third world. That's what we just saw. This won't stop Trump. He'll win if he's not killed first, but it does mark the end of the fairest justice system in the world. Anyone who defends this verdict is a danger to you and your family, and I agree. All right, let's go to Noreen in Richardson. You're on 570 KLIF and News Talk 820 WBAP. Hi, Noreen.
Oh, hi, Chris. How are you?
All right.
I want to tell you I appreciate your show so much, and being here in Richardson still without power. I bought a bunch of batteries a few days ago.
I am without power, too.
Yeah.
Do you have an Encore app on your phone?
They said...
But do you have an Encore app? Just listen to me. Do you have an Encore app on your phone?
No, I don't.
Okay, get the app and then report it with your address, and then keep hitting them on the text saying out once a day. Okay, keep in close touch with your neighbors. That's what I'm doing. I'm at a hotel still too. I'm so sorry. I went to my home, and to my shock, it was still out. Go ahead though, please. Go.
Okay, well, I'm sitting at my kitchen table with a candlelight here, but anyway.
God bless you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
After President Trump is reelected, can he pardon himself?
That's a question that Levin was saying earlier that he thinks he can. I don't know, but if he does, I hope he can. I hope he will. I hope he does.
Well, and I have a comment. I think Republicans and Trump backers are going to circle around the wagon. I'm going to say thank you to low-class Dems for pulling the conservatives together.
Yeah, and even middle of the roaders. This is disgusting.
Yep.
This is not the case they wanted to win on.
No.
It's all they're going to get before the election. Yeah.
I think it's all very low class, and will all be appealed.
Thank you for your great call, and thank you for sharing what you're going through right now. It means a lot to me, and I'm sorry you can't be in a hotel tonight. I feel blessed to have a room tonight. Thank you so much. Hugs from...
Well, I hope they get the tree off your house.
Yeah. Thankfully, it didn't do too much damage, but I want to give you some hugs virtually from downtown Dallas. Okay, Noreen, be safe in Richardson. All right, the cops are great over there. I know some folks there. All right, let's go. Well, actually, we have to pause. We're going to talk to Ken in Arlington next, plus your call. We have 4 lines open. Chime in right now, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. What do you think? Are you circling the wagon for Trump now? And do you think others are and will? How do you feel about this verdict? Do you think this is a rigged case? Is this the end of our country? Do you think that voters are going to react to this in a good way or bad way? Some polls say that it's going to hurt his ability to get reelected. And do you think they just elected Trump today? I think they did, but we just never know. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'm going to tell you about some of the leftist, like Hillary Clinton AOC, gloating. I'll tell you about that, and I think they're going to eat their words. That's next on the Chris Krok Show on 570 KLF Dallas-Fort Worth and 96.3 FM KSCS, HD2 Fort Worth, Dallas, News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 FM WBAP, Holtom City, Dallas-Fort Worth.